Now next, I want to show you about the setting. And I want you to follow me and change the setting on your computer as well. Also, I want to remind you, you might want to write that in your notebook or your textbook that, especially for the exam, yeah, you will have to always check your setting before you take the test so that to save you time, because a lot of time you can't find your variables. It's simply because you didn't change your setting. And for example, some of my students freak out and just say, oh, I can't find the information I want, and then they lost track. So to avoid that to happen, number one in the class, and also for all of your exam and maybe before the class, this is the number one thing that you want to check. So setting is under edit menu. So at the end, there is options. There are few things you need to change. You want to make sure that under the general, you want to display variable list based on their name, not based on their labels. Because the label is too long, you can't see it all. Name is very brief, and that is the one that you want to have them listed for, so it's easy for you to find. Yes, Sean. It's under edit. Okay, let me do it again. Under edit option. Okay, and then under the general, you want to choose display name and alphabetical. So it's easy for you to find. Okay, another part you need to change is on the output. So click the output section, that you will see that on the left hand side there is outline labeling. So you want to choose both. You want to choose name and label, value and label. Because sometimes from only the variable name, you can't tell what is it, okay? So you need to also know their label. And for the variable value, for example, like a questionnaire, you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, but you don't know 1 is what. So maybe 1 is lower class, maybe 1 is upper class, you don't know. So you need to have both the value and the label to show on your output file, so that when you interpret the data, you know what they are and you will not make a mistake. Okay, after this is selected, you close it and save it. They probably will pop up a window because I already saved it, yeah. So it will probably pop up a window and ask you to save it. So after that, you can start to run your analysis. So that's the setting options on on page 7 in the book. So if you didn't write it down, don't worry, you have a book. Okay, read the book. Okay, you already know how to open file. That's on page 9, so I'll skip that part. Number 10 is, page 10 is to remind you that there is appendix and shows you the code book. Okay, so when you get home, when you get the book, make sure you review that code book. Okay, to better understand each of the variable, another way to do is go through the utility menu. So on the top, you will see utility, you can choose variable. And then by clicking each one of the variable, you will be able to see what these variables are. So you can see that previously, because I already choose my preference in the option, right? So all of the variable list will be based on the name, the variable name, not the label. So you can easily find what they are. So that's another way that you can you can find your variable, and it say, for example, if you want to take a look at this variable, attend, they have a label here, how often respondent attend religious services, and what is the missing value. This is a nominal variable. The variable label range from 0 to 9. 0 is never, 1 is rare, 2 is monthly, 3 is weekly. Yeah, all this information. You can even click the go to, and they will show you where this variable is, attend. Okay, so that's the utility function. Okay, now let's practice a frequency distribution. Frequency is the most basic analysis for statistics. So when you collect all the information back, the number one question you will ask is like, in my sample, how many males, how many females? In my sample, how many blacks, how many whites? And that's basically come from frequency analysis. So how do we run the analysis? Because I want you to take a look how many male, female in GSS 2006 data here. With the 1490 cases, how many males? So first of all, find the male, female variable. What is that variable name? Can you find it? Sex, right? If you are not sure, you can go to variable view and find the sex variable, which is the respondent sex. And then there is a value. 1 is male, 2 is female. So to run the frequency analysis, what you do is go to analyze. You pull down the analyze, go to the descriptive statistics, and then there is a frequency. So you select frequency, that will pop up a window. On the left-hand side, you have all the variable name, and we find sex because they listed alphabetical. So you select sex, move to the right, and then there is not yet done. Here you have several options to choose. First of all, take a look at the statistic function. I want to know, for example, I want to know the minimum and maximum. I want to know the standard deviation, the range. I want to know the average, mean, and mode. So you can select whatever this information that you need for statistics, for the basics. Continue. You can also generate a chart. So you click the chart. Say I want to do a pie chart because only male, female. So pie chart seems more interesting. You can also choose whether you want the chart value shows to be frequencies, the number, or the percentage. I prefer percentage, so I choose percentage. Continue, and then you can click OK. So when you click OK, you will see several tables pop out in just 1 second. So running analysis is not difficult. Interpretation is difficult. So in this table of frequency, the output table shows 2 sections. On the left-hand side, you will see frequency and all the analysis listed, kind of like an outline. When you run a lot of analysis, sometimes it just confuses you with so much information. If that's the case, you can shrink the page or pull down the page easily. You can also change the title. So for example, I can change the title of this one, just put down statistics for sex variable. You can also make changes on your table or copy it. Okay, so you can copy by selecting, you can copy and paste to the Word document easily for your presentation. So that's another way. So from this output, you can see that we have 671 males, 819 females, 45, 55%. And then in the pie chart, they generate a very beautiful pie chart for you with the legend on the side. So you might say, well, okay, it seems perfect, but for this chart, it didn't really provide enough information for me because I need to have that percentage shows in the chart so I can do my presentation. Yes, you can edit that chart. So to edit the chart, you can just right click your mouse and then edit content. Okay, so those details about the chart, we will talk about, we will let you practice more when we move to the next chapter. We'll talk about all different chart, how to editing and generate the different chart. So, okay, now I want you to do a practice and then run analysis for 3 different variables for me.